Money Heist Season 5 Volume 1 has absolutely broken me. As of recently, you guys seem to be loving the TV show commentary, so we're doing another one. Subscribe for more. Money Heist Season 5 dropped about a week ago at the time of this recording, and it's been highly anticipated, mainly because of the way of their distribution. They dropped Volume 1 of Season 5, which is essentially the first half, with a Volume 2 set to drop in December, I think. Don't quote me, I'll put it on screen if I'm wrong. After watching Volume 1, I sorta get why they chose to release it in that way. To sum it all up, we pick up exactly where we left off from Season 4, with the professor's hideout being found out by Sierra, who wants to have him convicted for terrorism. Simultaneously, the stakes of the heist are bumped up 2 notches when the army, yes, the army, are signaled to essentially exterminate anything that wears or wore the mask inside the bank, whether they're guilty or innocent. Firstly, I love that dynamic that was added with the professor being stricken to chains and being unable to help the group in the field. From both his and the group's perspective, we see that they slowly both begin to go off the rails. The former has to deal with being completely helpless and having a glory hunting officer strip his dignity with her words, while the main group is in the bank struggling without the guidance of the professor, and seeing both groups struggle to know what to do next in their approaches is excellent to watch. What is also excellent to watch are the 2 first episodes. The writers waste no time in establishing the high-octane and action-packed theme or tone of this Volume 1. I certainly did not expect this many gunfights, fistfights, and explosions. Around halfway through the episodes though, things do start to slow down, which is around episode 3 up until episode 4. And I don't mind the show slowing down. Personally, I think it was needed for this, especially because of how much action was going on and it felt I couldn't get a breather. It's just, this is also where one of my criticisms comes up, believe it or not. It's kind of confusing, I'm getting to it. As I said, my problem isn't the slower paced episodes. It's, what they do in these segments that kind of drive me up the wall a tiny bit. Around these sections, we get flashbacks through a specific point in Berlin's past that I just don't care about. Yes, he's one of my favorite characters in the show, but he's dead. Let him stay dead. Or at the very least, if you're going to show us flashbacks with him, could you have at least made it a bit shorter than they were? I absolutely don't like the fact that we're plucked out of the action and chucked into Berlin's flashbacks for large chunks of episodes. It feels like a very cheap way to try and force him back into the show after killing him, and it feels like the writers couldn't fully commit to having him stay dead and stay out the show and have the audience miss him. What they could have done was have him make cameos in flashbacks, like what they did with Nairobi. Tokyo's flashbacks made sense because they were adding more emotion to her character as well as adding to her arc before the ending, which I'll get to in a sec. And taking steps to complete her character arc. Having Nairobi appear in small bits in those flashbacks are heartwarming, and it made me cherish her being there just that little bit more because I knew she actually wasn't alive anymore and I knew that she wasn't going to be on screen for much longer. That being said, from about the end of episode 4 straight through to episode 5 sets up a grandstand finale that's absolutely beautiful. The first 2 episodes were action packed, but the last 1.5 are a whole different level. From the antagonist side of things, the army dons that are sent inside the bank are absolutely ruthless and it had me on the edge of my seat. Speaking on the antagonist, one thing I did actually like what the show did is how they handled their antagonists and how they handled them very well. It didn't feel like they were all, unified, like, yes, this is the cause and we're gonna do it. There was actually conflict on that side. You had the, what's his name? The chief, the FBI angry guy. He's always, those who watched it know what I'm talking about. He's always pissed. He was always arguing with these army guys and these FBI men, non-stop. He was also, arguing with, Angel, who had a thing with Lisbon. There was a lot of arguments and conflicts even outside of just with the protagonist, and it also provides another dynamic that's really entertaining to watch. Remember when I said earlier that, they were giving Tokyo a lot of flashbacks to kind of add more depth and emotion to her character as well as finish her character arcs? It made a lot more sense when they were showing us her first love and how she lost her first love and how, we feel that Tokyo won't ever find love like that again. When they decide to kill her, or it looks like she's dead anyway, that I won't lie to you, I was not expecting that. Just because Tokyo is marketed as the main character, even though I don't think there is a main character in this show, like one. She's marketed as the face. She gets first billing in the credits. She's the face of Money Heist, right? So when they look like she's dead anyway, I really didn't expect that to happen. And kudos to the show for taking a risk like that and stepping out their comfort zone and having the balls to kill off like arguably the main character in the show, or it seems that way anyway. There are a lot of speculations rising on social media saying whether or not Tokyo is dead. And someone even asked me, I was speaking to one of my friends, Leanna, and she asked me, do you think like Tokyo is dead? And I say, yeah. And you know, here's why I think if she doesn't die, that's where I'll think it's kind of stupid, because what happened was Tokyo was shot in her shoulder or something like that first, and she couldn't make it down to the elevator shaft with Denver and the rest of the crew, because if she had made a break for the elevator shaft, she would have gotten shot, right? So she stayed there and tried to hold off all the soldiers. Then they slowly closed in on her, which is absolutely like it's like gut-wrenching to watch, and they pump her full of bullets, right? I mean, if that was an antagonist, the antagonist would have been dead on the spot, but because she's a protagonist and she has plot armor, she's not going to die. She's not going to die instantly. But then follows up with Tokyo pulling the pins of the grenades on her vest. Then it blows up. I honestly don't see how she survives that, even though it kind of cut. They didn't show her getting blown to bits, so there could be like a window of opportunity that you know, she may be alive. I would find it very stupid if she was alive, and even if in volume 2 she's alive, I don't think she'll live for much longer. I think that's just extra foreshadowing to get the audience to think that, okay, she's alive, just to kill her off permanently, like what they did with Nairobi. You know, Nairobi got shot and they did a little surgery on her, and then everyone said, okay, phew, she's okay, she's alive. And then she went and died at the end of the season anyway. That's what I think they're going to do with Tokyo. They're going to make us think that she's alive and she actually didn't die. And then nearer to the end, they're going to kill her off, and then she's going to permanently be dead. Overall, I thought this was easily the best season in the show. It's high octane, it's energetic, it's action packed, it's excellently written, the characters are well handled, everyone gets their fair amount of screen time, and it's far from generic. It's probably one of the most original series I've seen on Netflix and arguably TV on a whole. Because when you think of bank heists, you know, you're thinking of like, okay, people are in a bank, they're robbing it, okay, cops are gonna come in, blah blah blah. It sounds kind of generic, we've seen that before, but the way in which the things that happen in the bank and outside the bank don't make it generic at all, and it makes it its own show, and there are certain things you can associate with Money Heist, and I think this season's action is something you can definitely associate with La Casa de Papel. But what did you guys think of Money Heist Season 5 Volume 1? Let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely be doing more covering more TV shows, movies, and music on this channel, as well as Volume 2 when it drops. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to slap a like on it, subscribe if you are brand new. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.